And it was then I saw.
So, I am revealed to you at last.
What in hell?
I am the origin of life, the devourer of death. I am the hub of the wheel, the purifying cycle to which all souls must be drawn.
Hey everyone, welcome to the final video of Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. At least gameplay wise. We might do one extra for the bonus material if we need it, but for the story purposes, this is it. This is the grand finale. The trophy we got last time for Raziel was actually for him devouring 250 souls, in case you want to know. There's also some easy ones we missed, like impaling 50 people on spikes. That was one we could have gotten. Yeah, there's a lot of easy trophies we can get next time. What do we have equipped? I want to use the time one more. Or maybe we should use the lightning. Oh, here we go. More demons. Get that arcane tome. I don't think there's enough for them to actually refill the Reaver. I think we need some more. Aw, damn, we wasted it. Yeah, I don't think there's enough of them down here for us to refill the Reaver and use the spells. They're just fighting them one at a time is not going to do it. Now, as a word of warning, we are going to switch over to the quote-unquote canon skin for a climactic scene at the Vampire Citadel. I might as well, right, just to have it on the trophy, but then we'll switch back to the Elder God fight. Because that one I definitely want to have... Well, the final boss fight, I definitely want to have Kain taunt him in his proper place. In his proper guise. Okay, so now we have two, but the problem... God damn. They do hit hard. But yeah, it's just you can't get enough hits on them to refill the Reaver. So no spells, unfortunately. These guys are annoying to fight. They were always the worst in Soul Reaver 2. Next to the fire demons, those are bad, but these are kind of annoying. God damn. I wanted to devour him, but it didn't let me. Finally got some hits on him. Yeah, combo him up. Finally. Is there another one? No, there's the portal, so we're done. We are done with Abernus. That was a short trip. It would have been cool if we could see more of the cathedral. Like maybe instead of tossing him right down to that particular catacomb, like it tossed him into certain areas of Blood Omen 1, that would have been cooler, but it is what it is. They still don't explain how the portal stays open either. So, Amy Henning and the writing team said the reason they explained that the reason Kain survives is because he's the sign of balance. So I guess like destiny itself is calling him to fulfill his greater role. But I think also the thing is he had that heart from Janos inside him for thousands of years. I think he had it longer than Janos might have had it, so... Oh, look at that, we got cultists. Yeah, so I think it's possible he evolved to a state where he didn't need it anymore. Remember, vampires are constantly evolving, so... I think it's possible he evolved to a state where it doesn't need the heart of darkness anymore to be alive. You know, maybe his own decentralized nervous system sustains him. Oh yeah, get that lightning, fellas. Hey, we got the blood shower. Thanks, random Avernus guys. You did me a solid one. Yeah, we got the blood fountain one. Nice. Thanks to these random doofuses. So that's what it took. We needed to slaughter these guys. I guess the women are all dead at this point. There's also a trophy for juggling 5 enemies at once. I guess you have to do it using the time one. Because that will let you launch them into the air, but I don't think we have enough enemies left. Yeah, I think you have to do it using the time spell, but I was wondering how you would do it. It's obviously using the time spell, but we don't have any enemies left, unfortunately, so I think... Yeah, you basically have to, I guess you'd have to fill up the Reaver using the demons below, and then come up here, switch over to the time one, and then, like I said, just activate the spell, and what you do is you just, like I said, you just use the time spell to slow down time, and then you can juggle 5 of them at once, but, we don't have any cultists left, so, unfortunately, we cannot, pull that off. Let's see if there's anything up here for Kain to find. I think he can actually leap over to the other side, maybe. Raziel can't, but he can, so let's see if there's anything up here. Oh yeah, here's a collectible. Was that meant for Raziel? Can we get over to the other side or not? No, I don't think we can. I thought there might have been a platform that let him jump, but apparently not. So I guess there's nothing over there. Is there anything up here? Let's see. No, we can't even go to the ledge. Alright, let's just return to the Vampire Citadel and leave this place behind. We did what we came here to do. Looks like the camera reset a little bit there for a moment. Yeah, look at that, off in the distance. I do think it's cool how they placed it in the middle of the lake, and that's why the map had a dragon symbol in Blood Omen 1, because nobody knew what was there due to the mist shrouding it. They thought it was a monster. And now it's a fortress.
I knew what ominous hour this was in Nosgoth's history. Here was the event that had shaped my entire existence. I had cast my fate, refusing the sacrifice, damning the pillars, and founding my doomed empire upon their ruins. I would raise the Salafan priests to be my closest lieutenants, and would one day cast the strongest of them, my servant Raziel, into the abyss, dealing one last hand to play against fate. But in the end, had it made any difference? Had I misread the signs as Mobius told me? In my arrogance, had I missed my cast at destiny?
So they're playing the scene from they're playing the music theme from Dumas' Ruined City. That's a nice touch. I don't know if it fits the vibe or not, but I get what they were going for. It's also the one from the Soul Reaver credits, which has kind of like a dark atmosphere to it. do one last photo for the road. Pondering. There we go. He doesn't have one where he has his arms crossed. Alright, there we go. There we go, just one more for the road. He looks so sad in this one. Yeah, so that's what I think happened partially also, since they never fully explained it, how he's still alive. I think maybe he just evolved to a point where he didn't need the heart anymore, since he had it in for thousands of years and he was constantly evolving, and that combined with his powers from the pillars and him being the sign of balance, maybe it all just combined to the point where, like I said, he didn't need the heart anymore to survive. He did say the reroll is the only weapon that could kill him, so I don't think even immersion in water might kill him at this point. He would just dissolve and reappear somewhere else. Or impalement. They'd have to probably behead him, although even that might not kill him. Or find some other way to completely incinerate him or destroy him, but yeah, I think he just evolved past the need for the heart. Combined with being the sign of balance, that's why he also is able to survive and come back. Which I'm sure a certain someone is not expecting, right? Are the shades down here? Oh, they are. Those freaking bastards. Come here. Just pound it with TK. Okay, we got rid of that one. There's one more over here. These are strong too. I don't know why they made him so strong. These purple/pink ones. Oh, I reappeared again? Really? Damn, that cost us a lot of health. We gotta go back and get that basin. It's right over here, isn't it? Here we go. Alright, so like I said, we might as well switch the skins. I didn't want to do it, but I guess I have to for the last one. Since it's the very end of the game, I guess I might as well use his regular skin. But only for the upcoming cutscene, then we'll switch back. Because I actually do prefer this one a lot more, so... only for this important cutscene coming up. Yeah, I don't like this one. He's skinnier and also like, I guess I kind of see what they were trying to say. What that guy, Simply Fantasy is trying... or... was it Simply Fantasy? Or I don't know. Whatever the channel's name is, I get what they're trying to say. Also Calypso, his channel, that he does resemble a bit more what Kain looks like in the cinematic, but... I don't know, I prefer the other one. I just think it looks cooler than this one. But this is the so-called canon one, so we're gonna stick with this for just for this one cutscene, then we'll switch back. Yeah, like I said, let's get a real good close-up at him. See, it looks okay. I just think the other one is much better. I like how bulkier he is over there. This one looks a bit too pale. That's my complaint with it. Looks a bit too pale. And it looks like he's scowling a bit too much. The crown's more pronounced too, so like I said, I just not a fan of this one. Not really a fan of this one. But we'll use it just for this one cutscene. Then we'll finish up with the preferred one. Boy, that blood meter goes down faster than I anticipated it. Look at that, it's already at oh, we should have checked to see if there was another thing we could find outside. Can we go back or not? You know, now let's just finish the game. We're gonna play this another time on our own, so we'll get the remaining skins then. Here we go. This is actually one of my favorite cutscenes in the entire series coming up. One of the best, in my opinion. Also one of the funniest. You'll see why. Look who it is down there with his little compensation staff. Look at that smirk. He knows what's about to go down. He knows what's going down.
The Hilden are merely an inconvenient consequence. They will be dealt with in time. It is a small price to pay for Kain's death.
You're a bit premature.
Kain!
Is there a crack in your omniscience after all, Mobius? First, your omniscience, and now your powers. You're slipping badly.
This is not possible.
The part of me that staff affected is no longer in its place. But you already knew that, didn't you? I always was considered heartless. And now, Mobius, it is time.
To kill me? Again? Your only solution for every problem. Kill.
This is not a debate. You see, this time, you have nothing that I want.
Hell yeah.
You think this will matter? But I serve one who has power over life and death.
Then go to him.
Notice the rock rippling in the background. That's a clue.
I am his obedient, his devoted servant. Soon, all pain will fade, and my master will bring me life once more.
And notice how Kain doesn't seem aware of it. That's another big clue about what's about to happen. But first, we gotta deal with this bastard again. I smiled and laughed so hard when I first saw this. Look at how pissed he is.
Master, my apologies. A momentary oversight. Somehow Kain still lives and has unexpectedly dispatched me. Make use of your good servant and...
Yeah, fuck you, old man.
Master, then. I release you to the wheel. Oh, God. Do you see it now? The monster that you served. Is this what you imagined when you worshipped it? No! And in that knowledge, go and feed it. I release you.
Yeah, he didn't expect that giant octopus. The giant octopus monster. Probably thought it was some saintly old man or something.
Your petty actions are irrelevant, Raziel. Mobius was a good servant, but he was of no further use. His long life had run its course. You see, even when you rebel, you are doing my will.
Perhaps. But something has changed, hasn't it? You didn't foresee Kain's return.
You have both traced your paths along the wheel. This is where the journey ends.
You haven't the means to kill either one of us.
Ah, but you can be stopped. And you will come to understand how oblivion can be a mercy. You and Kain will spend eternity buried here together, praying for the merciful release of a death that will never come.
He talks a big game without anything to back it up.
But I was armed with newfound knowledge, and it burned within me.
Redeemer and Destroyer.
Mobius had never seen his master until the Soul Reaver purified his sight.
Even the ancient vampires had no idea what it was they so righteously worshipped.
You must unite what has been set asunder.
All the conflict and strife throughout history, all the fear and hatred, served but one purpose: to keep my master's wheel turning. All souls were prisoners, trapped in the pointless round of existence, leading distracted, blunted lives until death returned them, always in ignorance, to the wheel.
The coin is still turning.
But what hope had there been? One cannot fight the unseen.
Only then will the Scion of Balance be armed for his true endeavor.
Despair, Raziel. There is no escape.
It was then I knew what I had to do. I alone could end this.
Yep, we know what we gotta do. Now, I have some complaints about some of the music placed in some of the scenes here, how I feel it doesn't really fit, but this upcoming one I think is actually very well done.
Kain, do you so enjoy death?
Yes. Raziel. No! Yes. This is how... No! Raziel! The Soul Reaver. Pure of all corruption. This is what it is for. This is what I am for. The two become one. Both Soul Reavers together. And the Scion of Balance is healed. And I am not your enemy, not your destroyer. I am, as before, your right hand, your sword. No, Raziel, this can't be the way. And now you will see the true enemy.
So well done.
Raziel. And it was then I saw.
So, I am revealed to you at last.
What in hell?
I am the origin of life, the devourer of death. I am the hub of the wheel, the purifying cycle to which all souls must be drawn.
Had I condemned Raziel to this nightmare when I cast him into the abyss?
You may ponder the futility of your ambitions as you spend a deathless eternity beneath a mountain of rubble. You and your Soul Reaver will go equally mad as the eons pass. The Citadel of the Apostates will become your living tomb.
Your words are heartening.
Yeah, chop him up, Kain.
For you would not fear us unless we could truly do you harm.
No! You are nothing!
False God. This is the end. The final turn of your wheel.
You will never escape.
So, rip to Raziel. Yeah, the great manipulator. He's the source of it all. So, they replaced the Blood Omen 2 theme from that game that used to play here, the Kain's battle theme. So, let's just pretend it's playing the Blood Omen 2 theme because that fits the battle way better. I was hoping they would have fixed it with the update, but apparently this is the one they left untouched.
You will never defeat me, Kain.
Now there is a trophy for beating the Elder God solely with telekinesis, but we're not going to do it. We're going to beat him properly with the Reaver here. We'll hear the
will
the
never
Blood Omen
defeat
2
me,
theme when we play
Kain.
the actual original version of the game. It actually made the Elder easier to hit in between
Submit to my
attacks.
will.
The key to avoiding this one is to stay close. Stay close to the fiery shield right there until he regrows the 3 limbs. I thought this was so cool when I first played the game, since it was you know, the confrontation after the whole series. But I can see the frustrations with it. It's difficult to dodge his tentacle attacks since there's so many. So you noticed also the walls were rippling. That was a sign that he was hidden behind the illusion. So Kain couldn't see him until Raziel purified his sight. That's why Mobius couldn't see him either. All they could see was just a rock, but they added the swirling effect there, so you could see it's just an illusion. Like he's always there. You know, he is still there. He's always been there. But normal people and even vampires can't see him without the Soul Reaver's effect. Which is why nobody has ever rebelled against him that we know of. We know there was one cult that could see him, but they served him. Probably some early humans. Because we saw their shrine down in Soul Reaver 2.
Will never defeat me, Kain.
So if you're wondering also what happened between Raziel and the Soul Reaver, basically he was both. So Raziel was never the vampire messiah like Kain thought he was. He was always both the vampire champion and the Hilden champion. So when he purified the Reaver like that and sacrificed himself to give Kain the fully forged weapon, he both redeemed himself and destroyed himself. So he fulfilled both prophecies in the mirror. So he was always both. He was never the vampire messiah. The vampire messiah was always Kain, who was the sign of balance. So Kain was always the most important one, and Raziel was meant to give him the sword that he needs right now to combat this monstrosity. Yeah, this theme is just it's okay. I just don't think it suits the battle quite as well as Kain's battle theme from Blood Omen 2. That's a banger of a theme. One of my favorite video game songs ever.
You will never escape.
It's difficult to dodge him since it's so big. Come on, Elder, give me another. Oh, before we do that, let me switch back to my preferred skin before we do that. There we go.
You will never break from the wheel of fate.
Let's just assume the other one was an illusion that Kain was casting. Alright, we got you now, Octopus. Slash that freaking eyeball.
I will crush you, vampire.
So he's not as powerful as he would seem. It's obvious he's limited in his power. I guess most of his abilities more affect like the environment and the spectral realm, so much being instead of being, you know, direct attacks that he can do.
I will bury you.
Let's take a photo. Just for the memory's sake. Look at that. What poses can we get on Kain? Sneaking? Yeah, that makes it look like he's gonna draw the Reaver. Battle pose? Oh hell yeah. Let's charge the Reaver. I love this freaking photo mode. Look at that, like he's facing him down. He's staring him down. Okay, we gotta get rid of his two tentacles here. We've got one left. Time to break the wheel of fate. Damn, we almost had him. We almost had the tentacle there. There we go. One more and he's done. Look at that, we didn't even need to use any more extra blood. Not that they give us any. But yeah, the streamer I was watching really struggled with this. And then another streamer also struggled with it. I think, obviously if you've played the game before like I have, you have an unfair advantage. But I think it's just about watching his patterns and analyzing what the weak spots are. And the weak spots are that he can't aim energy blast close to himself, you see. They have to travel in an arc. And so if you stick close to the shield, they can't get you.
This defiance is frightening.
Oh, he got me there. Started messing around with the tentacles.
I will bury.
There's one. How long do you think he stretches underground? Like, how big is this thing? Is he like the size of a continent? Oh, now he's trying to combo us. You think he's like the size of a continent? Or like a whole country? And he's finished. Fuck you, Elder God. And your Wheel of Fate.
You cannot destroy me, Kain. I am the engine of life itself. The wheel will turn. The plague of your kind will be purged from this world. And on that inevitable day, your wretched, stagnant soul will finally be mine.
In the meantime, you best burrow deep.
Kane's just rolling his eyes at him. He's like, he knows it's all bluster at this point. He knows that octopus is finished. I tried to activate photo mode, but it didn't let me. So we could get one last snapshot of the Elder God.
Now at last, the masks had fallen away. The strings of the puppets had become visible, and the hands of the Prime Mover exposed. Most ironic of all was the last gift that Raziel had given me. More powerful than the sword that now held his soul, more acute even than the vision his sacrifice had accorded me. The first bitter taste of that terrible illusion. Hope.
There we go. What a note to end it on, right? One more apostate. Yep, one more heretic that the Elder God doesn't like. Okay, we're gonna skip this crap. Enough of this. Let's get the real credits. Let's get the real credits. We know they're down here. Let's see. Original opening movie. Dark Chronicle. Epilogue. Kane's birthday. What is that? Yeah, where's the actual credits from the old game? Do they have them? Making a Defiance, original opening movie. Music player. Seraphim Lord? I'm trying to see if we can find them. Betrayal, Blood Omen 1, Kane's theme. Oh, if we can't find the original credits, we'll just use that one. I'm just looking through the menus. Kane's Arcane Tone. What's Kane's birthday? Hey, this is pretty cool. Look at this.
I know you're there, Raziel.
What did Raziel get him? This is cool.
Please. I'm biding my time.
What did he get him?
My God. The Hilden.
Oh, that's so bootleg. He got him a Hilden action figure. Okay, so it does not look like we have the original credits like we did in Soul Reaver 2 Remastered. So we might have to make do with the sound effects. So you know, we're just gonna play the song. Yeah, we're just gonna play the song while we listen to it, and then I talk about what my thoughts on the game were. Where is the Kain's theme? Here it is. Okay, so that was Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. If you look it up on YouTube, you can see the original credits to Defiance, which plays. It has this theme playing over like artwork from the murals from the Vampire Fortress and all that stuff. Now this is closing theme credits. Listen to how awesome this is. This is the theme that should have played during the battle with the Elder God, like it did originally. So yeah, overall what did I think? First off, let's get a bit into the plot. What I think happened was that you know, even though Mortanius and Mobius rebelled against the vampires together, at some point Mortanius started worshipping Hashagik, which was technically the Hilden in disguise, while Mobius kept on with his worship of the Elder God, and they both believed they were talking to the same god. So the reason Mortanius turns towards that is because he came to believe that Hashagik was the one true god, just like Mobius believed the Elder God was the one true god. But obviously both of them were mistaken. And so over time, Mortanius got influenced by more and more by the Hilden, and then he eventually fell to their possession. And that's when things started to go wrong. So that's why, even though he was helping Kain to restore the pillars and all that stuff during Blood Omen, he was also doing damage to it. You know, because he was both helping Kain and he was also serving the enemy that was trying to destroy Nosgoth. And I guess that was also maybe part of the reason why the Elder God never revealed himself to him, unlike how he did with Mobius, because he didn't trust him. Remember, the Elder God can see into the time stream, into the future, so he knew Mortanius would get possessed at one point, which explains perfectly why he didn't trust him. So, you know, they probably thought they were serving the same benevolent force, the so-called true god of Nosgoth, but nah, they were both serving enemies of it. And obviously the vampires, even though they were servants of the Elder God, they obviously tapped into some force that seeks to correct the balance that the Elder God disrupts. Because like Amy Henning and the writing team said, he's basically a parasite on the Wheel of Fate. He does not belong there. His whole Wheel of Fate is a sham. It's a false cycle. I think he interferes with the natural processes of the afterlife and Nosgoth. So he has to be eliminated, and that's what the Scion of Balance is for, with the Purified Reaver, to hunt him down and eliminate him. That's also why I think that even though another game would be welcome, it's not really necessary, because we know what Kain has to do now. He has to hunt down and kill the Elder God, and then he has to go into the demon dimension and deal with the Hilden somehow, either convince him to back off, you know, and stop being a threat to Nosgoth, or if they don't and they refuse to do that, then deal with them permanently and any of the actual demons in there. But we pretty much know what he has to do, so the question would be how to shape that into a very interesting journey, you know. Okay, we heard enough of the Blood Omen theme. I hope my voice is audible over the musical credits. But yeah, we know pretty much what he has to do, so that's why I think even if Dark Prophecy never gets made, I still think this is a good place to leave the series on, to end it here, because we know pretty much what his task is. And had they had more time and money, they actually would have shown him hunting down and presumably killing the Elder God and then restoring the pillar. So that they did plan to end it here. And then they decided they could make another game, and that obviously went awry. Yeah, that did not work out. But yeah, I think even if we never see Dark Prophecy made into an actual game, even if they never do it, I do think this is a good place to stop the story, because we pretty much know what he has to do. It's just a matter of how he's going to do it. How is he going to track down and kill this thing that's probably spans the entire continent, if not larger? Obviously, it has to have some type of central weak point that he can attack. A heart or 3 hearts, or you know, multiple ones like an octopus or something. He has to have a central point where he's extremely vulnerable. And then you obviously gotta deal with the Hilden and convince them to back off from destroying the whole world. But we pretty much know what Kain's tasks are at this point. It's just a matter of how he accomplishes them. So we can always leave some to the imagination. Raziel made his great sacrifice. I know people miss him and they were sad that he would no longer be in the series, but I think he went out in a very good way. He completely redeemed himself for all the foolish stuff that he did throughout the series and all the massive ways in which he screwed up, you know, being a complete pawn to Mobius. So I like how he went out. He went out like an actual hero at the very end. And like someone else said, I think it was either the Simply Fantasy guy or Calypso guy, like they said, he actually did prove true to his words in Soul Reaver, because in Soul Reaver 1, when Kain asked him if he were in his place, what would he do? What choice would he make? And Raziel says, I would choose integrity, Kain. And over the course of the series, it looks like a very foolish statement, because he makes a lot of mistakes and gets played very easily by some very malevolent forces. So he does not come off as intelligent at all, but then in the very end, when it matters the most, he does choose integrity. Because he could have chosen not to sacrifice himself and try to fight the Elder God in conjunction with Kain. You know, just try to fight him the old-fashioned way, maybe by combining their 2 blades, like someone said. But no, he knows what he has to do and what has to be done to rid Nosgoth of this menace. So in the end, he actually does choose to do it, to make the sacrifice and go out a hero. So very well done for him. That was an incredible way to end this storyline arc. He makes the ultimate heroic sacrifice to truly save the world and give Kain a fighting chance against his enemy. Overall, what did I think? Like I said, it's a very good remaster. In terms of being a quality remaster, I'd probably give it like a 9.5 out of 10. The overall game is still like an 8.0 out of 10, or maybe even like a 7.5. It's not the most open-ended of games. Like, it's very linear. I prefer more like the more open world status of Soul Reaver 1. Even though I largely dislike open worlds, it worked well for Soul Reaver 1. I would have preferred they go back to more of that and let's explore a bit more. Especially with all the fascinating lore we're uncovering throughout the series, all the stuff we're finding out about the ancient vampires and the Circle and Mobius and Mortanius. It would have been much better if they'd given us a damn large space to play in, you know, a much more open world, but they did the best they could with what they had at the time. Not a very short amount of time, or not a very huge budget from Eidos, presumably, so they did their best. Like I said, the only thing that bothers me is some musical changes here and there, and the fact that I was happy they restored the proper music for the battles between Kain and Raziel at Avernus, but it sucks that they did not restore this one. I thought the update would have fixed it, and apparently it did not. I was all ready to say, oh, let's just pretend I was already saying, oh, let's just you know, we don't need to pretend to hear the Blood Omen 2 theme because they actually put it back in. But no, that was the one song at the end that they didn't fix, and I don't think it fits very well with the battle. It doesn't make it feel nearly as epic as the Kain battle theme does. Playing Raziel's theme, Ozar mid-stream before his final sacrifice, was a great touch. Like, I didn't like it quite at first when I heard it. I thought it might have been a bit much, but then when I watched the second playthrough, I realized it does fit the mood perfectly, and it is a great way for him to go out on, rather than just playing silence like he does originally. Originally, nothing plays during that scene. It's just silent, and it's kind of weird in retrospect. So I do think it was a nice touch that they added his music to send him off that way. Very heroic way to go out. So yeah, overall, I definitely recommend this. Remastered. If you're any type of Legacy of Kain fan, if you're a fan of Defiance in particular, I definitely recommend it. It's very well done, shows a lot of love and respect and, you know, well crafted attention towards the series. These people obviously love the series and they want to see it done justice. Unlike the guys at Bitbox who developed Ascendus, probably that's a whole other topic. We'll play that game eventually, but not right now. I know people are saying it's terrible, but I'll still play it anyway. Just not right now. There's too many other games we need to play that have been delayed for literally months and months. I gotta get to all that stuff before the end of summer, and then Control 2 comes out and we're screwed. So we'll play that eventually. I hear it's only like 3 hours long, so it shouldn't really be that big of an issue. Just 2 videos or 3 and it should be fine. We'll get to it just to see what it's like. Like I said earlier, it's a side story anyways. It's not like it's gonna matter overall in the overall lore. Like technically, it doesn't really affect what Kain has to do with the Elder God or the Hilden. It's just a side story of someone who once served under him and had her very peculiar and unusual destiny herself. So it's a side game, side story made by people long after the series had kind of ended. So you get what you get. But let's check out some of these bonuses. I'm sure you want to see more of them instead of hearing more of my thoughts. I think this is from the original game, the Making of Defiance. Training room is the gauntlet area. I might try that out eventually, but not right now. It's a gauntlet, an enemy gauntlet to see how long you last. Lost levels, here we go. Oh, we have the deluxe pack too. I'm guessing that's where we activate some of the other skins that we didn't find. Oh, look at all of this. Holy crap. Is this all from Defiance or is some of it from Soul Reaver? From Soul Reaver 2. Maybe even 1. Sundial room, what the hell? Alright, here we go. We're looking forward to this. Intro to the Lost Levels. Legacy of Kain Defiance tells a tale steeped in the wreckage of history. The long-forgotten ruins of Nosgoth's ancient civilizations perpetually serve to frame in Kain and Raziel's intrepid journeys of discovery. That's a way to phrase it, the wreckage of history, the long-forgotten ruins of Nosgoth, ancient civilizations. It does remind me of the video I saw, which actually got me into those videos. I don't know if it was Calypso's videos, or I don't know if it was Simply Fantasy's videos, but it was it Simply Fantasy? What's that YouTube channel called? Let me just look it up, because I'm pretty sure I'm mangling its name again. Let me just look it up. Should be easy. Legacy of Kain. YouTube channel. Fantasy. Let's see what shows up. Strictly Fantasy. Strictly Fantasy. Simply Fantasy feels like an adult toy site. Strictly Fantasy. But one of the very first videos I watched that got me back into like the series lore and got me really excited for this release was one that one of them has called Nosgoth, a world crumbling into ruin. Or crumbling to ruin, and it definitely highlights the theme of this, how Nosgoth is basically a dying world for many thousands of years until Kain finally finds a way to possibly redeem it. Okay, so let's continue. Yet, unlike Immortal Vampires, the Defiance team could not afford to spend the whole of eternity perfecting their craft, and unlike the pristine, purifying flames in which the legendary Reaver Blade was forged, the reworld crucible of game development makes few alliances for perfection. Yeah, they're being generous, because you can actually blame what happened to Defiance and Soul Reaver 2 and Blood Omen 2 and Soul Reaver 1 on one single company, Eidos. Eidos sucked. They will give their developers unreasonable time frames for development. They would say, "Oh, have the game ready by Christmas." And it's like, no, we're gonna need 6 to 12 more months. And they will be like, "Nope, have it ready by Christmas, and we're gonna give you only 2/3 of your budget that we promised you." So there was a very tough conditions to work under. They kind of sucked. I know Embracer's bad right now, but Eidos is probably equally bad in their own way. I don't even think they're around anymore, right? I think they got sold or dismantled or something. So yeah, they could have given us some very great legendary games that easily would have stuck to like the legacy God of War has, but Eidos was just too damn impatient and too damn cheap. You know, they were too greedy, wanting to get that Christmas money, so they caused them to take shortcuts that they shouldn't have. Lost Worlds restored. Production realities ensure that the wanderings of imagination are tempered in the making and wilder ambitions are curtailed. The finished article you now experience is the fruit of these inevitable cuts. Ideated upon countless times, streamlined, ruthlessly but necessary, hammered into its final form. Yet not all that is lost is beyond all salvation. Concepts left unpursued, assets left unused, unutilized can still be resurrected to see anew on life. I'm glad for that. Yeah, wilder ambitions are curtailed. If Soul Reaver 2 have released the way Crystal Dynamics wanted, it probably would have been one of the most legendary games of the PS2 console era, and easily in the top 10 in terms of games of all time, because they had so much they wanted to do there for that PS2 game, and they just could not do it because of the time constraints and budget constraints from Eidos. They had so much they wanted to do, and just in terms of the combat, the Reaver powers, the glyph abilities, the locations you could explore, the storytelling you could do, they wanted to do so much, and they did not get the proper time or budget for it. A labor of love. Here, those of us behind Defiance Remastered present to you a selection of less fully forged adventures, half-sculpted pieces salvaged from the cutting room floor, more remnants of the past for Kain and Raziel to discover alongside you. These curated lost levels represent a love letter to the Legacy of Kain community, the Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered team. Also, Reyna Aldrin's contract ran out, so if they do actually do a Blood Omen remaster, Blood Omen 2 remaster or remake, it have to be without her, or else they have to get her a new contract. I just get her a new contract to have her work for the next 2 years or so, but it's up to her. I mean, and it's up to Embracer and Crystal Dynamics and Aspire, I guess. Spoiler warning: please note that the lost levels contain behind-the-scenes commentaries encompassing the entirety of Legacy of Kain Defiance. I think that's a typo. That should be the entirety. And are thus filled with significant spoilers in relation to its plot and visuals. If you have not already experienced the main story of Defiance, we strongly recommend doing so before continuing your journey through the lost levels. These museum pieces are designed to enrich your understanding of the game and its world with greater context, but are best approached as a supper to enjoy upon devouring the main course. That's a way to phrase it. Yeah, it would be stupid to go through all these lost levels without first playing the game and understanding the story. But it's 2026, people will do that, however stupid it is. Although role-playing a pair of ravenous vampires may be the object of the game, do not be so swift to slake. I've never heard that word before. Your thirst for knowledge without consuming the story. Even though Raziel's a vampire, Wraith, not a vampire, but minor details. To accommodate more relaxed exploration, Kain and Raziel each come provided with all the upgrades and abilities they would typically receive over the course of the main game. We have also scattered a little fodder throughout the level for you to amuse yourself with along the way, but fear not, these enemies cannot harm you, for you are granted immunity to damage within these museums. It's not like they can harm Kain anyway, he can kill them easily. The Hall of Fame. This small museum-like hall, codenamed Middleview 1, but affectionately dubbed the Hall of Fame by Defiance Remastered programmer Andrew Fradley, was originally a test room created and decorated by Defiance's art director Daniel Kabuko for previewing models. I've seen his artwork. He does a lot of great art even outside Legacy of Kain. LOK is just his masterpiece, but he does do some fine artwork outside of that. The textures seen here are largely reused from prior Legacy of Kain games, with the stained glass windows around the room perhaps familiar to players of Soul Remastered. These are the same window designs found at the heart of Kain's Mountain Retreat and another lost level from that game. Alright, there we go. As always, let's take a snapshot at this fine ass hall. Look at that. This is the hall Kain would greatly enjoy. Look at that, he loved this place. I can imagine him building this place at his palace. There you go, pondering. Perfect. Oh, look at that. Let's take a photo over here. Of course, they gave you Kain and not Raziel, but I'm guessing we'll see Raz pop up in some of the other levels. There we go. And a captive human in the background for him to feed off. Perfect. Okay, so where do we go first? What do we activate first? Yeah, how do we switch between the levels? Like, do we know what each one is? to R1 to feed. Don't mind if I do. Sorry, lady. Got something we need. Sorry, my guy. But you're looking like you'll be better off, Hey, look at that. They even redid it in the old graphics. That's nice. There's a statue of the Vampire Savior. Looking like Janos. Yeah, how do we navigate the menu for this? Yeah, how do we actually get out of this place? Like, do we have to select it manually, I guess? I thought it would be as easy as opening a door, but I guess not. It kind of sucks that we can't go directly from it. Oh, combat arena, Razio and Kain. There we go. Okay, so maybe that's the combat arena. Training room is just to train. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. The collapsed pillars. We're just gonna go through them quickly one by one. Because I have a movie that I want to watch with Cynthia Rothrock after this, so I might also want to play a bit about Silent Hill 2 or Resident Evil 1 remake, so we gotta not take 2 hours to explore this. The collapsed pillars. This apocalyptic scene represents the immediate aftermath of Kain's fateful decision to refuse to sacrifice his own life and restore the pillars, thus condemning the land of Nosgoth to millennia of ruin and decay. The pillars lie in a myriad of scattered shards, their supernatural cores exposed. The clearing stands sundered beneath an ashen sky and marred by the infernal energy blast unleashed with the unraveling of the binding. To my younger self. This area provided the staging for a scene cut from the story script in the earliest redrafting stage. After escaping the demon realm, Kain would emerge in the material realm within walking distance of the clearance, where he would witness his younger self and Ariel from afar debating the ethics of his choice. Oh, that would have been a very interesting cutscene, seeing them argue and seeing what arguments Ariel could put and what arguments Kain gave. While the young Kain delivered his justifications uncannily reminiscent of Raziel's rhetoric against Ariel in Soul Reaper 2, the desponding and desperate Spectre would flail at him, willing his death, but to no avail as he departed. So he gave her the "you suck" speech that Raziel gave her. Nice. That's how you do it, I guess. Raziel learned it from someone. So look at that. This is what happened. Hey, they even got it in the old graphics. That's pretty nice. You can see obviously it's a picture, but the background. Look at all the ash. Trees are all ruined. Look at the pieces of the pillar just flying everywhere. Look. Damn. Look at how many of them there are. Oh, there they go. Exactly as they were in Soul Reaper 1. Look at that. That volcanic ash sky. Well, you know what the best thing to do in a situation like this is, Kain? We take a picture to commemorate it. That's the best thing to do. We take an image to commemorate our decision. Let's ponder it. Let's ponder our life choices, Kain. Look at that. Oh, look at that. That looks great. Now, because to fit with the theme, since it was Kain's younger self, the shifter pack is required to access this content. I wonder what that is. The shifter pack, we have that. So Legacy Kain. Oh, Soul Reaver 1 came with the PS1 graphics. That's funny. There you go. Take a picture to remember it. Look at that. Before the pillars he destroyed. And let's get one with the the Reaver skin. That is not it. The old Reaver. Oh, look at the cardboard tube. Ascendance Reavers. Dragon Fan, what the hell is that? Oh, that's the one Borodor uses. Nice. Fading Legend. Legacy Reaver? Oh, the PS1. Demastered Reaver. Fading Legend, there we go. With the bolt, the electric bolts. Interesting how that red one was the one that lasted the longest out of each of them. I thought it would be the balance guard pillar, but maybe the balance pillar is so corrupted by Kain that it suffered the most damage from his will. Kain's just pondering what he did. Look at that. And now he's just gonna admire the broken view. Look at that. Alright, so there we go. That one's kind of cool. Sanctuary of the Clans. Yeah, this is going to take a while, but hopefully it doesn't take more than half an hour. Sanctuary of the Clans. First appearing in Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1999, the Sanctuary of the Clans is the seat of Kain's empire, a grand monument built to encompass the broken pillars and centuries beyond Legacy of Kain Defiance. Though briefly recorded in archival footage during Defiance's introduction cinematic, the Sanctuary was originally set to appear as a playable location as well. Here we present the fruits of labor of original Defiance environment artist Isabelle LeMay's efforts to reconstruct the Sanctuary on Neo hardware with some additions by Patrick Johnson. Monument to Ambition. Chronologically positioned some 2,000 years after the pillars collapsed, the Soul Reaver era and the Sanctuary house acting as the set piece for what was originally the final chapter of Defiance. This epilogue was called so early in production that no dialogue was ever scripted to support it. This version of the Sanctuary is not an exact replica of the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver original, featuring many more columns and chairs at the periphery of the pillars. It shares a number of architectural commonalities with the Water Forge, which in turn were ultimately transferred to the Vampire Citadel of the final game. Another fateful confrontation, Kain awaits you in the central dais, poised to recreate his epic battle with you from the original Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Don't fret, on this occasion your former master is in the mood for more jocular, dueling his deadly lightning bolts, attacks and other powers held in reserve. Very early designs of Soul Reaver 2 similarly prescribed the final confrontation between Razio and Kain at the Sanctuary of the Clans. An epic philosophical clash played out the conclusion of Razio's quest. So he was originally going to fight him in the very early plans of the series. It looks good though, even though it's not an exact one-for-one replica, it actually looks pretty damn good. Look at Kain's claw throne. These are some gorgeous photos, look at that. I think it only takes like one strike. I love that theme too. So awesome. Yeah, look at all the pillars we have. The regular pillars, not the actual pillars. All the clan banners, Dumas, Rahab's, Torel. See the Torel marking right over there that you see outside his door in Avernus? That's how you knew it was him. Oh yeah, he's a pushover at this point. Raziel's Kain's claw throne. Look at that. Raziel's a king now. He's a king. Oh god damn it. Oh, look how it looks in the old graphics. It's pretty nice. Throne right at the center of the balance pillar. Let's take one with Raziel. Hey, there's Keeper Secrets. Look at that. Alright, the early stronghold. That's a Seraphan stronghold, right? The early Seraphan stronghold. In early production of Defiance, the Seraphan stronghold adhered to design much more akin to a Soul Reaver 2 incarnation. This prior iteration of the stronghold by Steve Goss provides a ready touchpoint with Soul Reaver 2 not only in terms of its floor plan but its sense of scale. It features the first version of several common landmarks carried over into the final level, such as the bridge area and the Elder God caverns, all much grander in size than the final, more compact vision of Defiance would support. Fallen Angels. This take of the Seraphan stronghold was constructed to accommodate not only Kain's first and third chapters, but also Raziel's, directly following on from the end of that game in the chapter house room. Some versions of the scenario featured a return to the ruined stronghold in the near future era, previously explored in Soul Reaver 2, which would involve Kain infiltrating its confines to recover the head of Vorador. That's important because that would have answered the question of how Vorador was resurrected. Kain had to go get his head. Enjoy contrasting this version of the stronghold with final design. When you reach the bridge, continue to the Soul Reaver 2 sanctuary to indulge in nostalgia, or fly to the left to explore more the hidden depths. Yeah, so this has the Ouroboros. Yeah, so you can see this is much more like the regular one. I actually prefer this. I wish the PS2 memory would have allowed for it. I guess that's why they didn't do it. They didn't have nearly enough memory or storage space for this, so I would have preferred this for sure. Keep that continuity between the two instead of having them be completely different spaces. Yeah, look at the old stained glass. This is where Raziel killed himself, his past self. Look at the old gates. Yeah, I vastly would have preferred this. And look at the old design for the Seraphan. So I guess Raziel was meant to return to the Seraphan fortress originally. Oops, some clipping there. Beat this Seraphan ass down. Yeah, I prefer this vastly over the one we got in Defiance in the actual game because like I said, it looks like the corridor in Vorador's cutscene in Blood Omen 1. It resembles the fortress we spent so much time in Soul Reaver 2, so I vastly preferred this, but I guess they needed the memory. Like I said, I just prefer to think of it as separate sections of the fortress that are just you know, they're on other sides of the Seraphan fortress, and they have some rooms that resemble each other, but they're not exactly those same rooms. That's the way I explain it away. What's up here? Oh, we're heading up to an observatory? It's over here. Hey, look at this balcony. Nice. Hop all the way down, see what's down here. Obviously, it's fitting that we're using Soul Reaver 2 Razio for this. Hey, look at that Roman Emperor right there. Wonder who that is. Founding member of the Seraphim, I guess. Got him. There you go, look at that. It would have been cool to see him fight the Seraphim again and cut even more into their numbers. Like the scumbags they are. Get wrecked. This guy's super dead, look at that. Hey, look at that, we can go up into the balcony and the bridge. Let's toss this guy to his death. Damn, look at that. Oh, he's still alive. I guess they're more durable here. It makes sense that Razio's stuck in the spectral realm at the beginning of the game, but it would have been cool to see him fight more of the Seraphim bastards. Just continue wiping them out. And he's blind. I wanted to use the fire one, but I accidentally picked the wrong one. Give your soul. Destroy those wine casks. They don't deserve wine, these bastards. Okay, so is that it for the early part of the stronghold? I think that might be it, right? Oh, look at the bridge. That is a lovely view though, look at that. Guessing we were supposed to do something here with a puzzle or something. Look at how majestic this is. It's a shame the ones occupying it are all scumbags, but look at how they did build some beautiful architecture. I'll give them that. I go give them full credit for that. Look at that, a climbable wall. I assume that's a climbable wall. I'm not gonna test it. Get wrecked, fools. Damn, look at that. I'm guessing these are early Seraphim Knights. And look at that, the statue they're commissioning to honor his former bastard self. Look at that, they haven't yet put it in the central yard. This kind of looks like the fountain from Soul Reaver 1, for that one glyph puzzle. This is too funny. We gotta take an image of this one. That is too funny. We gotta get it one for that one. Raziel's future and past self. Look at that. His former self and his current self. Just Raziel, no last name. This is a huge area they have planned. Hey, we're back in the stronghold. Look at that. Yeah, I really wish they had been able to keep this version of the stronghold. It's much better than the one they have. Larger, feels more majestic, feels in touch with the continuity of the series. I think this would have been a lot better. Guess there's nothing in here. This definitely would have been a whole lot better. Set everybody on fire. Is the chapel there? No doors. I think this is as far as we can go. Oh, we can, right? We can just phase right through it. Look at that. There's the wall with Janos' mural. Look at that. Oh, we can't take a picture of Raziel here because it's too dark. The lighting's not in place. Definitely not in place here. Look at that. He looks like a shadow. That's nice. So they did plan to include it originally, and it just didn't work out. Okay, so we've seen enough of this. Can we activate that door? And go over to Mobius' time streaming chamber? We cannot. Yeah, this would have been a whole lot better than what they did, but I understand the limitations. I guess it really was just a matter of technical limitations, technical issues. They just couldn't fit all that and also fit all the other areas in the game with the Vampire Fortress and Avernus and Border's Mansion and all that shit that takes up a whole lot of space. The early underworld. Let's see this one. This is probably gonna take a while. I imagine like oh, look how creepy that is. The Elder God. With his dumbass eyes, always surveying us, always watching. Yeah, I imagine like 3/4 of this video is just gonna be the bonus material. The actual gameplay of the boss fight and the resolving of the story is just half an hour. This looks gnarly. Look at that. The early underworld. This alternative take on the other god, on the underworld area, precedes the overarching redesign which also overhauled the stronghold. Initially, Raziel's story began in the stronghold like Kain's, and the underworld was the first conceived as a shorter climax to the beginning of his story as opposed to its own full-fledged game region and tutorial. Falling from the stronghold's pool room into this shadowy cavern, Raziel would interact with the wrathful elder god before fleeing through a tunnel formed by the intertwined mass of his writhing limbs. This passage facilitated his journey to the cemetery as in the finished game. The Stygian Depths. Stygian. Sharing some commonalities with the final version of the underworld, such as the central platform, the underworld here nevertheless adheres to a much darker vision than its counterpart, more explicitly emphasizing the Lovecraftian cosmic horror stylings of the other god in his domain. These atmospheric choices harken back to the underworld as portraying early versions of Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver. Before that too was relit, prefiguring the future by adopting a palette and brightness scheme more similar to that of Defiance's final version. They probably should have kept this version because he was inspired by Lovecraft, particularly not Cthulhu alone, but also this one god that was added later that lurks underneath a mountain, like something like Saigan is what it's called, and it's literally just a giant eyeball and a mass of swirling tentacles. Oh yeah, they should have kept this for sure. Look at this shit. Look at this goddamn mess of a cavern. They definitely should have kept this instead of the other one, which is a bit more cartoony. Like, it fits with the aesthetic of the game, but they definitely should have kept this one. This one rocks. Alright, there we go. What can we do? Can we do anything here? Yeah, this is gnarly. Look at all this creepy ass caverns and stuff. They definitely should have kept this instead. It looks a lot more like what you'd expect the Elder Gods underground cavern to look like. It's very fitting of them. Look at it pulsing too. Okay, so this is just a regular chamber. There's not much to do here. Can we fly over to any of this stuff? No, it's blocked. Okay, so yeah, this definitely would have been a much scarier intro. Maybe the Defiance remake in the future you can do this. Yeah, I would have preferred they kept this actually. This actually looks pretty damn cool and pretty horrific, so they should have kept this one. Give me a moment. Gotta get a bit of water. Alright, so let's see the other ones. So we got the early underworld, the sundial room. What is this? Oh, we still got the Dark Prophecy demo too. Sundial room. The purpose and provenance of this mysterious test room is unknown, save that it was another of those created by Defiance environment artist Isabelle LeMay. Its textures are unique, largely dissimilar to any observed in either in the retail version of Defiance or in the previous Legacy of Kain games. The hall's most prominent feature is the large sundial, occupying the lower tier, which is derived from the Dark Forge of Soul Reaver 2. In recognition of this minimal clue, the room has been tentatively dubbed the Sundial Room of the Defiance Remastered team. So they don't know what this is, essentially. Raziel's just a plain tourist here. He's just visiting the sites. But they don't know what this is, basically. Oh, listen to the music from the glyph rooms in Soul Reaver 1. It looks cool though. It's got a nice rainbow motif. Look at that. Maybe it was some type of sun fortress or something, or something to do with the light glyph. Is there one where it looks like he can push it? Oh, look at that. Raziel's throwing it back, trying to push it with his legs. That works. That definitely works. I like that they also did in the classic graphics too. That's pretty nice. Yeah, that definitely looks like some type of glyph related artifact room. Something to do with the glyphs. Had they introduced them, that would give you power up, something like that. The Air Forge. Let's see what this looked like. Oh, they were gonna have streets from Avernus? That would have been cool. The Air Forge. After the decision was taken to include all 7 Reaper Forges in Defiance, but before the redesign, which resulted into the consolidation into similar chambers at the Vampire Citadel, the team experimented with direct adaptation of the Forge asset from Soul Reaver 2. This incomplete take on the Air Forge is effectively a remix of its predecessor, retaining the architectural and textural stylings of Soul Reaver 2 counterpart, but virtually nothing of its layout. Unlike the Waterforge, no design documentation for this area is known to have been preserved, if any was created. Winds of Change. The Forge consists of a short series of corridors which branch into 2 parts, one leading to an exterior room and the other to a smaller scale version of the giant snake sculpture. As observed in the previous games, surrounded by a familiar trio of godheads, the test area is clearly unfinished, leading to a black void which serves as the dead end, and it is unclear where Raziel would have forged the Reaver. Only the Dark Forge of Soul Reaver 2 is known to have received any similar adaptation and a meaningful nature into the Defiance production period. Oh, okay, so originally they did want to reuse the forges and it just did not work out. Yeah, like I said, this game was probably supposed to be massive, just like Soul Reaver 2. And Eidos would just not give them the time of day necessary to do it. Neither the funding or the oh, look at that, classic graphics, nice. Neither the funding or the time. It looks cool though. I always appreciated the artistry of the Damn, almost fell into a pit there. I almost appreciated the artistry of the Air Forge in Soul Reaver too. It's very, very stylish and very feels very much like an ancient ruin that you would find out in the world. So there's a central chamber. There's more demons. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. I want to set them on fire. Oh damn, they're too powerful. We can't get enough juice to charge up the Reaver. You know, screw these guys. They can stay there if they want. Okay, so that leads to the area that we know is a black void. There's a central snake. Oh, it looks cool. Look at that. Definitely looks cool. I really like this area in Soul Reaver 2. Like I said, it sucks that we couldn't get it, but I guess because of memory limitations, they couldn't reuse them. Maybe in a Defiance remake one day, right? Maybe. Maybe one day. Let's go the opposite route and see what's over there. Oh, look at that. There's the there's the charge that we need to charge up the Reaver. There's statues over there. They got the music too. Damn, not even 2 hits. Set him on fire. I don't think Bracio fights the statues or something like Warlord's place, but I think it's mainly Kain who fights them. Well, I guess in that one Earth Forge after Avernus, we're trying to get the Earth Reaver. 3 at once. Yeah, you go and explode. We are done with you. Oh, there's 2 more of them right there. Hey, look at the giant ancient statue. That would have been pretty cool. Alright. So we got that forge out of the way. What's the other ones? Let's see. The Dark Forge. Let's see what that one is. We got a lot of... Damn, we got a lot of Avernus stuff. And the Overland. Dark Forge. We're at 1:29. Let's see if we get to 2 hours. Maybe I'll do another video. The Dark Forge, another of the Reaver Forges which originally appeared in Soul Reaver 2. This version of the Dark Forge follows the same cube as the earlier Forge by remixing components of its previous incarnation. A somewhat more open and vertical layout than its counterpart, it shares little to no commonality with the original Dark Forge in its arrangement, but its set of textures is entirely derivative of that previous version. The Shadow Nose. Nice reference. Consisting of 3 major partitions, the area contains a number of non-functional puzzle setups which hint at some of the challenges the level designers had planned. This forge, like the others, is clearly incomplete and probably did not advance much further into development before being scrapped in favor of the boilerplate forge designed the final game. Oh, okay. It's over here. Got shades. Yeah, so they do look a lot like their regular counterparts from Soul Reaver 2. The various forges. Okay, so there's nothing up here. Let's go over to the central area. A lot of dark shades here. Yeah, these were obviously planned to be probably breakable parts of a puzzle. You can tell by the cracks in the floor. I mean, in the texture. So there's the door that probably would have led to the actual forge. Oh boy, look at that. Look at that right there. See if we can freeze them. If we don't get hit. That doesn't work on them. It only works on living enemies, I guess. Curious to see what the water temp was like. And we did get the trophy for pulling off all of Raziel's and Kain's special maneuvers in the last episode. The Water Forge. Let's see this one. I want to see this one. The Water Forge. One of the earliest locations to be designed for Defiance and the largest original area to be entirely cut, this incarnation of the Water Forge was intended to maintain continuity with the Reaver Forges of Soul Reaver 2. When this version of the Forge was conceived by designer Richard Lemarchand, only the Earth and Spirit Forges were also slated for inclusion. With the game scenario omitting the 4 forges Raziel had already solved in Soul Reaver 2. Raziel would visit this forge after exiting the cemetery and proceed to the pillars after imbuing the Reaver. That would have been actually a pretty good plan if they'd skipped the ones we did already and only did the new ones. Earth, Spirit, Water. Like Tears and Rain. This large complex consists of 3 major sections: the approach to the area, the forge exterior, and the interior. Raziel was required to manipulate water channels using the Reavers he had already obtained in order to progress to the next level. Apparently no more than the first floor of the interior was designed and built before production ceased on the area and the forges underwent alterations as a whole. In its final iteration, the game incorporated all 7 Reaver forges at the Vampire Citadel, with the Water Forge being accessed via a teleporter and Voidor's Mansion. Virtually no evidence of the original Water Forge remained in the game. Which sucks. It looks hella cool, look at that. I know people said they found like another, supposed to be an Earth Forge or something like that, that was supposed to be like similar to the Lost City. which I had mixed opinions on because people don't want everything to be associated with Reaver Forges. You know, they like some you know, uniqueness to some of the environments. Not everything has to be a forge for Razio to imbue the Reaver with. You know, you can do some different things too. I admit it would make sense in a way, but at the same time, I admit I do prefer if the Lost City remains a wholly separate area instead of being incorporated into a Reaver Forge in some future game or something else. Let it remain its own thing. We know it's pretty much a city that just got pulled down by the Elder God to form the Abyss, so let it remain its own thing. Let's see what's up here. This is a pretty interesting forge too. Oh, look at this bridge. Nice. So what's upstairs? Okay, so the central area is upstairs. Got it. This would have been an interesting puzzle, for sure, looking at these locations. More Hilden, they just can't leave us alone. Oh yeah, we're at the top of the world now, look at that. Let's see what's over here. Got some water, kind of like a shin-high puddle. Hey, look at this. Oh, this is gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. Taking some nice photos here. This is a... Oh, they definitely should have kept this. This would have been awesome. Look at this area. They should have kept this instead of that lame-ass forge over. This would have been great to explore, you know. A lot of fun. There we go, stones to recharge the Reaver. Candy cane hallway? Really? Oh man, this area was awesome. They should have kept this for sure. This would have been a great area to explore. Look at that. Look at all the stuff you can do. I'm guessing you could have pushed this into that hole to open up some doors. Look at the lamps and the coloring. Man, this place was the bomb. It was awesome. They should have kept this. I would have loved this. And there's an air forge basin. There's the... Hey, look at that, it's our old friend Possessed Janos. And he still shrugs off our attack with his wings. I guess we can't harm him. Oh, we can. It does make it a bit sad that we could have had all this awesome stuff if Eidos had been more lenient with his time and resources. They should have kept all this stuff. Crystal Dynamics when they were designing the game. Early Citadel passageway. Yeah, that place was awesome. That's probably the best one yet. They should have kept that for sure. The Water Forge would have been a great location in game. Early Citadel passageway, the only brand new location to be featured in Legacy of Kain Defiance, the Vampire Citadel or Guardian Citadel, was extensively iterated over a slew of concept artworks, with many potential alternative visions set aside. These early interior rooms, created by lead artist Jacob Wendler, are largely representative of his final gaudy influenced design, but showcase some noteworthy distinctions. I'm guessing gaudy's an artist or an art style. They feature more subdued, moody lighting than the finished article, and red motifs are prevalent, more overtly representative of the vampire's curse. Oh, look at that. This looks great. Almost looks alien in a way. This actually looks pretty great. Look at that. Can we go down there? It's disappointing because it's nice that they restore these areas, but it really makes you it really shows you how much greater the game could have been if that had proper time and effort to work on it. Here you go, big guy, jackass. Alright, so there's not much here, it's just a cavern, but it does look good. Yeah, we should have a lot more interesting areas than we got. The warp chamber. I want to get to Avernus. I want to see what the streets are like. Early Citadel warp chamber. The only brand new location to be featured in Legacy of Kain Defiance. Okay, we read that one. These early interior rooms created by lead artist Jacob Wendler. Okay, so we did read all of these. Look at that. Let's switch over back to proper Kain with the proper Reaver. Yeah, let's get our actual Reaver blade back. Almost looks like the Eye of Sauron, doesn't it, from the Lord of the Rings films. Yeah, this is a cool ass chamber. Look at that. It's not very big, but it's pretty damn cool. I like the motif it has going for it. Yeah, I definitely would like to have seen these levels in the game. They look pretty rad. Here we go. Avernus streets. Avernus Streets, the largest city in Nosgoth. Avernus was introduced in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Envisaged as a major hub area for Soul Reaver 2, it was quickly cut for reasons of scope, and while the central cathedral eventually made its way into Defiance, the city beyond suffered a similar fate. I find that funny because I always thought Willendorf was bigger than Avernus. Created by artist Darren McKenzie, this street is the last surviving fragment of what was pictured as a huge silly landscape. Kain Razia will need to navigate the chaos of his burning ruins in pursuit of their goals, with Kain encountering, defeating, but not slaying his old foe, Azimuth of the Planar, his side of the story. Oh, that's interesting. So Kain would have encountered Azimuth, and he would have beaten her, but he can't kill her because the timeline prevents him from doing so. That's it. Pretty interesting. That he would have fought her and dealt out some justice for what she'd done to the city. Okay, yeah, it's just empty. It's just an abyss. Look at that. Just staring out into the abyss. Yeah, that's pretty great. That's a great concept that he would go back and, while traversing Avernus is he doesn't just teleport right to the cathedral in this scenario. He would have encountered and defeated Azimuth. But he can't kill her because obviously that would mess up the timeline and it won't allow him to do so anyway. So that would have been pretty interesting. I would have been down for that. For a moment I almost thought I was going to say encountering and defeating his younger self. Like that thing Mobius did in Blood Omen 1 where he supposedly summoned Kain's older self. But it turned out to be an illusion. Early Catacombs. Let's look at this one. Now we're getting to the meaty stuff. Avernus Early Catacombs. Although the Avernus Catacombs comprised little more than a sequence of basic hallways, and the final product, a grander, more diverse vision, was inevitably conceived at first. These subterranean hallways, tunnels, and balconies, the works of artist Stefan Gaudet and Jeff Johnsrud, what a name, are more reminiscent of the Catacombs' Blood Omen Legacy of Kain incarnation in both layout and aesthetic, and better emphasize their fire and brimstone conceits. To assist your exploration of this particular area, an additional power has been left at your disposal. Oh yeah, this looks a lot more like Blood Omen 1. I dig it. This is awesome. Look at that. Sneaking. Got the skeletons. Oh wow, look at the hellfire, look at that. So they were going to do it a massive area. That would have been much better too if they had done that massive area. For sure. Would have matched, it would have matched up better with what they did in Blood Omen 1, definitely. Man, the game could have been so much greater. Could have been easily a 10 out of 10 or 9.5 out of 10 if they had just had a few more months and greater resources. Man. What idols robbed from us. Hell Walkway, look at that. Damn you idols, you sabotaged what could have been an all-time generational great game. Avernus Hell Walkway. Although the Avernus Catacombs comprise little more than a sequence of basic hallways, okay. So these are just the regular ones. Look at those skulls lining the bridge. That's a nice touch. Razio is just sightseeing now. They've got the skulls. They've got that whole Hashagik motif. Man, this area would have been awesome. Avernus could have been so much cooler than just one single chamber in the cathedral on a Reaver Forge. It could have been so much greater, man. Look at what idols took from us. Yeah, there you go. Look at that, dying midair. There you go. Razio taunting over his enemy. Look at that. Who's just floating in midair. And of course it will be fire demons, right? There's always fire demons in Avernus. Man, this would have been so cool to explore in the game. Let's finish out the fourth one. It could have been so much better, man. It could have been so much greater. Even though it's already a pretty good game, it could have been so much better if they had just had time and money. The machinery room? Containing a large mechanism of unknown purpose, this geometric room, built by lead artist Jacob Wendler, bears the characteristic hallmarks of Felden architecture. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Its stylings and contents are particularly reminiscent of Legacy of Kain, the Dark Prophecy's take on Malik's Bastion. A level from Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, reinterpreted by Ritual Entertainment, which itself featured mechanisms used to birth Seraph and Wraiths. The commonalities imply perhaps that this room served as the basis or source of inspiration for the latter. Okay, so it was going to be built with, look at that. They switched between the old and the new graphics. So it was going to be based off of Malik's Bastion, which would have been interesting to see in Dark Prophecy. I would have loved to have seen that. Oberland, we're reaching the end. Oberland Forest. I think we might have just enough time to do the Dark Prophecy demo. Oberland Forest. Working drafts of Defiance's world layout prescribed a more sprawling and interconnected Oberland, featuring several transitional locations which bookended more major areas. These open wildernesses included dense forests, mountain caverns, and even underwater ruins, continuing the series tradition of a seamlessly interconnected open world established in Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Several of these interstitials reached the production stage. The very little design documentation is known to have been archived. All were ultimately cut from the final game and survived only in the form of distant vistas. Man, it just gets worse and worse. We could have had so much. Holy crap, look at this. We could have had so much. So it was all going to be one interconnected world. That would have worked better than the levels, for sure. Let's use the Spirit Reaver on these bastards. They are super dead. Look at that, they would have been caves. Holy crap, look at these ruins in the caves. Oh man, this all could have been awesome. Really makes me wish they'd actually do a freaking, you know, Dark Prophecy again, do an actual game so we could actually get to play all this stuff. Cause this is incredible. Can we even make it over there or not? Does not look like it. Oh, can we climb? Maybe we can climb over there. Let's see. Perfect. We can. Even though there's not much here. Oh man, this would have been so awesome. Look at that, it's exploring these cavernous areas. So great, man. Could have been so great. Snowy forest. Okay, so the descriptions are all the same. Look at that, Razio, it's wintertime. And we see the freaking shades over there already. They had a lot planned for this game that they did not get to do, which is a shame. Look at that. Yeah, so all we have that left now are just the distant vistas, like I said, but what's up with that picture? Instead of doing a proper rendering. Alright, so this actually, yeah, all these areas are pretty damn good. It's a shame they're all cut. Would have been the game so much better. Alright, we got Overlook, Snowy Overlook, and the Cliffs. Oh, and Vorador's matching in the future, because there's supposed to be a mission where Razio would be the one who retrieved Vorador's head. Look at that, almost looks like a city in the distance. Okay, this one's a bit rough. I don't know about this one. This one's definitely a bit rough. Obviously, it was never finished, but that one's a bit rough for sure. Snowy Overlook, and then we have the Cliffs, and then we have 3 more. Okay, so this is overlooking the pillars. Pretty interesting. There's the pillars right over there. Yeah, man, he would have journeyed to so many different places that we never even see in the game. It's awesome and incredible that they actually came up with all this stuff for the remaster. Even if it's incomplete, at least it's something. Right, this looks a bit better. Got cactuses. Obviously that area is not filled in over there. Yeah, we're seeing so much more of Nosgoth in the world in these lost levels than we are in the actual game sometimes. Alright, here we go, the Great Southern Lake. This one's new. Another transitional, the Great Southern Lake. Another transitional area made redundant early in the design phase. The Southern Lake makes its return from Soul Reaver 2, remodeled and significantly expanded with new and old paths to traverse. While largely an untextured blockout, this incarnation of the lake features some more elaborate additions, including a mysterious manse at the banks of the Stronghold Dock and several walled garrisons. Be on the lookout for the caught fiercest enemy class honing their skills at the Stronghold's gates. A grove vampires lying in wait in the wilderness. Oh, you would have fought vampires too, really? Oh, that would have been pretty damn great. It goes against the theme of the game, obviously, but it would have been interesting to encounter vampires who were less than noble. And we're just there to prey on you. Look at the design, it's like Ustenheim from Soul Reaver 2. Do we have any of them around or not? Oh, there they are. Those are the vampires that Razio would have seen originally killed in Soul Reaver 2. And that would have turned him against the Seraphon, against the vampire hunters very quickly. Look at that. You know what? Let's do low poly Razio for this one. Just because they're low polygon. So let's do low poly Razio for this one. Legacy Razio. One with his arms crossed. Look at that. Can you attack them? No, you can't. Alright, that's pretty interesting. The Great Southern Lake is basically the lake that was outside the Seraphon stronghold. That's where the stronghold was built. It was built over the lake, and its roots were at the bottom of the lake. Vorador's Mansion Future. Here we go. Vorador's Mansion Future. Early in production, a visit to Nosgoth's future era, a century after the fall of both the pillars and the mansion, was slated the same time period to which Razio was shunted by Mobius in Soul Reaver 2. This detour was intended to reconcile Vorador's inexplicable appearance in Blood Omen 2. long after his death with the series continuity and until his resurrection at the hands of either Razia or Kain, in a subplot already planned but cut once before from Soul Reaver 2. Also, it was supposed to happen already in Soul Reaver 2, that early on. Yeah, because you would have met Uma and her human guy. She was a priestess who worshipped the vampires, and she would have told you to retrieve Warlord's head so he could be revived. This room, La Vida Nueva, the new life. This room, created by artist Jennifer Fernandez, was intended to serve as the repose of Warlord's headless body, having been recovered and zealously guarded by an ascetic human cult of vampire worshippers. There you go. The cultists were to be led by a younger Uma, Warlord's closest vampire lieutenant from Blood Omen 2. Kain, and Defiance's iteration of the quest, was charged with recovering Warlord's head from the Seraphim stronghold and returning it to reunite it with its owner. He would witness Warlord rise and transform Uba into a vampire, thus beginning Blood Omen 2's vampire race. Oh, that would have been a lot. That would have been a lot of backstory that would have filled in some great stuff. They should have kept that too. So much stuff they could have kept, and it just did not work out. That would have been awesome to see him actually revive Warlord that way, and to see him turn Uma into a vampire and see her in her human self. Oh, that would have been awesome. We lost out so much due to the time constraints. Alright, we only got 2. Cathedral Pinnacle. Is this Avernus? Oh no, that's from Soul Reaver. Cathedral Pinnacle, our penultimate offering, comes not from the Defiance production period, but from that of Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. This is the final block of the puzzle previously illuminated by the lost levels of Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered. The Pinnacle, the Silence Cathedral. This room served as a connector between Zephon's boss room and the cathedral exterior leading to Kain's mountain retreat, as well as the staging for the final moments of the game. Here, after destroying Kain, Razia would unblock the cathedral's sounding pipes to unleash a hymn of death across Nosgoth, destroying all the vampires in the land. Yeah, so this is where it would have happened, that he would have killed all the vampires then, due to the Elder God's request, by using the pipes in Cathedral. And then he would have realized he'd been played for a fool, and had to go back in time and undo or redo everything that he did. Do it better. So this is what it would have looked like. Pretty interesting. I guess this is where he would have to climb and use the Reavers he recovered, the Kain Reaver and the Aerial Reaver, to hold off the vampires trying to stop him. And what's the last one? That leaves only one. Early Ustenheims. This was Soul Reaver 2? Oh, this is from the original Soul Reaver 2. From the Dreamcast and all that stuff. Early Ustenheim, the last of the lost levels we present to you in Defiance Remastered. This prototypical lower fidelity incarnation of the village of Ustenheim also has unusual prominence. It originates not from Defiance but from the rare early builds of Soul Reaver 2, prior to that game's shift to more powerful contemporary hardware. While not apparent here, some early 3D interpretations of Ustenheim position Janos Origins Retreat, then Janos' house, within the hamlet itself, in alignment with the design material from Blood Omen Legacy of Kain. Lost level credits. The lost levels were tirelessly salvaged and carefully reassembled by Andrew Fradley. The levels were curated and populated by Monica Erosova, and repaired and relit by Laura Wen and Elaine Tanaka. Rolly Danko remastered textures for select areas. Dylan Jarrety wrote the introductory text. Kellen Latshaw provided significant engineering support. Hannah Ballard, Brett Rudd, and the Play Everywhere and Quantic QA teams verified the level stabilities. Great job done. Well done, guys. You deserve an applause. Thank you for playing. All those of us in the Defiance Remastered team would like you to thank you for experiencing the lost levels. We hope to serve to offer a unique perspective not only to Defiance's development but the iteration process. Even what you see before you represents but a fraction of the creative effort involved in bringing a video game to life. Eternity is relentless, Raziel. These chambers offer insight for those patient enough to look. Kain. Legacy of Kain. Oh, here we go. One more thing. Upon completing the main game at least once, be sure to check under the game options menu for a few additional surprises. Embrace the dark gift. Oh, hell yeah. Hey, look at that. Yeah, this is a screen we did see before. Yeah, there we go. We definitely saw this one before. We saw it in early magazines of the Dreamcast version and stuff. Back when it would have been for Dreamcast and PS1. So they were going to include Janos' house here in the actual town instead. That would have been interesting. It's a departure from what they did, but it would have been pretty interesting. And I guess this bridge would have led to the town. They did good work with the limited resources of the PS1 and the Dreamcast. Okay, we're at 2 hours. Do we have enough time to do the Dark Prophecy demo if we can figure out where it is? I wonder if we have to download it. What's the training room? Oh, that's the training dummy. I see. I see that. We actually have to do a trophy for that in the game itself. Defeat it, I think finish it within like 90 seconds. Combat Arena Raziel, let's see what this is. The Combat Arena, Raziel. Players of Soul Reaver 2 may recognize this as a version of that game's introductory area. Our Circle of Nine's gathering room deep within the Seraphim stronghold. Following the precedent set by Vorodor, we have chosen to repurpose this octagonal space as a combat arena, disabling your invincibility in the process. Have fun sparring with a bevy of enemies from across the game, or hang back, lurk, and observe for the periphery as they do battle with each other. Okay, so they're gonna throw endless enemies at you. Let's try out Kain's. I gotta look up the Dark Prophecy demo to see where it's at. Oh, look at all the enemies.
Die, vampire!
Oh, damn, we got demons and everything. Holy shit. Alright, let's do the lightning. Oh, there we got spellcasters and everything. I like that they gave him the battle theme. I wonder what you get for as a reward for lasting a long time, if anything. Or is it just for fun? Right, let me look up the Dark Prophecy. Yeah, see what we gotta do to unlock that demo. Almost turned the microphone off there for a moment. Exclusively included deluxe and Heart of Darkness, but where is it? It says it's a bonus level in the game itself, but I'm not seeing it. I wonder where it is. Is it just on the PS5? Is Dark Prophecy demo on PS4? Because now we might have to download the PS5 version. I wonder if we have to update it, but I thought we did so already. Because we did purchase the deluxe edition. Yeah, I wonder what's up with this one. Maybe it's solely on the PS5 version, even though it's supposed to be here. Oh, there it is. Never mind, I see it. Never mind. I'm blind. Alright, let's go. One last thing. Oh, we got the comic books too for us to read. Those are adaptations of the game. Here we go. Dark Prophecy demo. I do not know how I didn't see that. The Dark Prophecy demo. Legacy of Kain, The Dark Prophecy, the cancelled sequel to Defiance, entered development under Ritual Entertainment in 2004, but its production was discontinued later the same year. Built on the same engines as Defiance, The Dark Prophecy returned Kain to the role's singular protagonist and pursued a storyline heavily focused around the Hilden, the Demon Realm, and the fate of Yano Soldier. A number of locations were designed and developed prior to the game's cancellation, and this demo showcases one such playable sequence, a vertical slice of the game. Alright, here we go. Mountains of Madness. Emerging in a grisly place laden with bloody corpses and the evidence of dark rituals, Kain must traverse the mountain pass, battling a host of hostile forces in the process. It is believed that the unnamed area observed in the demo was to be explored in the game's opening stages. It serves as a transitional location, bridging more major landmarks, and offers a representative insight into the project's gameplay. Enjoy exploring this time capsule, a remnant of what might have been, and clashing with exclusive enemy classes imported from the original demo. Okay, so this is what they basically took a whole bunch of stuff and added it to the demo to make it worthwhile. Those look like Hilden architecture, so right, look at the bone. They do like to build a lot of stuff with bone, don't they? Underneath Avernus and everything. Alright, so let's see what we have to do.
Die, foul beast! You don't belong in this world, vampire.
Have fun falling into the abyss, bitch. And we have all the Reaver powers. Obviously, he would have had the actual Soul Reaver, and had he played it, but had we gotten to play the game, because it would have been forged by that. Is Kain doing the stanky leg there? Is that what that dance is called? Okay, so what else do we have? Oh, this bastard. We're looking forward to him. This sack of shit. Can we light him on fire? Oh yeah, we're just mangling him. Look at that, he's so big, Kain can't even pick him up to feast on him properly. Oh, these guys are new, I've never seen them before. Sorcerers? Wait a minute, those are glyph rites, aren't they? Oh yeah, those are glyph rites. Come here, you Hilden bastards. Yeah, those are Hilden. Yeah, you can see because of the bald heads and the black outfit, those are glyph rites. Like from Blood Omen 2. Gotta get up there. Target that one. All of them working together. Take that, you damn Hilden. He's still alive.
They victors.
While I was googling that on the internet to see where the demo was, I saw a bit of a Reddit post that says they might be holding some things back just in case. Presumably they decide to explore Dark Prophecy game. They don't want to show you everything. That makes sense. Hey, look at I've got orange shades now. Tang shades. Like the juice mix. Damn, die already. What are we gonna find here in this Hilden, this old Hilden lair? Seraphin Knights? I'm guessing they just populated the enemies for you to fight. It makes no sense to have them be in the Blood Omen 1 era. Like I said, it's just for you to fight them. I thought it was gonna have like more dialogue from him or something, like story content a bit. Looks like it's just a level, which is fine, but I expected a bit more. This is one gnarly ass looking bridge though. Look at this. Oh yeah, that is definitely a Hilden creation right there. Look at this. Damn, just impaled him just like that. There, we can't throw them overboard. I wanted to throw them down into the mountains. It would have felt good to continue playing as Kain though. They could have given him more interesting powers and given him some of his old spells back from Blood Omen. Like the really nasty ones, like the Implode artifact. That would have been great. The lightning that he can do in Soul Reaver 1 would have been awesome. They could have given him back some of that stuff. Damn, that guy hopped to his death. Oh, god damn. You sure got the best of me. Ah, we gotta start all over again? Really? No save points, right? Since it's a demo. Oh, but at least all the enemies are gone. We don't have to deal with them again. Twice in a row. Physics are a bit wonky. Come on, Kain. Step on that platform. Let's try this again. Just toss him overboard. Whoa, those prisoners are racked in there, and those are statues. Oh yeah, look at that Hilden. Almost looks like an early artwork of the Seer from a Blood Omen 2. Which would make sense. Face your door right there. Damn, they're almost endless. Thanks for playing the Dark Prophecy demo. Please quit to the main menu when you're ready to leave. Oh, that sucks. That's it. So they just did a gameplay demo. I expected more like story stuff. You know, I expected Kain to have like a little monologue or something on what he was trying to do here, but I guess that's all they could rebuild. I would have liked to see Malik's Bastion. That kind of sucked. I thought it would be much longer demo than it is. It's just more fighting and combat from the game, with some pretty interesting aesthetic choices for the locations. So I thought we'd get little snippets of story or stuff like that, but no, it's just a bit more taste of the combat with this nice Hilden statue lady over there. Oh well, I guess like I say, maybe they'll do Dark Prophecy eventually. Maybe that's why they don't, like that Reddit post said, that's why they don't want to show off too much, just in case they do decide to revive the game. Because I believe Embracer said they're looking at reviving old franchises, so they might actually want to revive this and do a proper Dark Prophecy, so who knows what'll come of it. I know Defiance didn't sell as well remastered as the Soul Reaver 1 and 2, but you know, announcing a brand new game would be a completely different thing. That would get a lot more attention than just a remaster. What else do we have? Deluxe pack, the comic books. There we go. We got Soul Reaver, we got Defiance, we got Soul Reaver. German. Oh wow, look at him. We got all the issues. Look at him preying on the Seraphan Knights. Damn, Kain is brutal. There's just no match for him. And Soul Reaver, look at that. Oh, look at that. There's Razio indulging in his his hunger. Oh, is that the seer turning him, delivering a warning to him? It's a nice touch that they put the music in it to give it atmosphere while you're reading it. Okay, so that was Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. We might check out more though the other bonus material if we record some more videos for this, but yeah, what can I say? Good game with a really great story, great remaster overall, probably one of the best remasters I've seen recently, and that's saying a lot because we've had some pretty decent ones recently. The Soul Reaver 1 and 2 one was excellent, give or take some details on Soul Reaver 2, but we've had that. We've had remasters from other series, so we've had quite a few, but this is definitely one of the best I've seen recently, if not the best. Overall, as a remaster, I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10 easily. A couple minor details here and there bothered me, but there's not much you can do about that with the music and some of the design choices. But I love the new camera, I love all the extra effort they put into it, all the new costumes, the new skins. They finally restored Mortanius to his dignified self. They let us see Vorador with his pimp outfit from Blood Omen 1, the legendary hedonistic warrior without the sleeves, when he just completely whipped Malix's ass twice in that game. So yeah, overall great remaster of a pretty good game. I know it's a cliche, but they don't make him like they used to anymore. You know, they don't make him like they used to. Gaming today is a wholly different landscape than it was back then. In a lot of ways, it's changed a lot for the worse, not for the better. But yeah, I don't know if I'll record the regular Defiance or not. It's mainly the same game, obviously, with different graphics, so I don't know if I'll record them. I might do just a few videos, like maybe the confrontations between like Mortanius in that game, and then also the fight with Kain and the Elder God, the fight between those two, so you can see the differences in the score, and we can also see the final end credits for the game as they were originally. I might do that. Just a few more videos. And I might do a couple showing off some of the more skins we didn't get to use here, like the Vampire Champion, the Hilden Champion, the Sign of Balance, Excalibur. We didn't get to use Excalibur because we didn't find it. So yeah, I might do a few more videos, but that's pretty much it for now for Defiance. Like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but great remaster overall. Very great remaster. It was handled almost flawlessly. But it's definitely in great hands. So yeah, if they want to do a Blood Omen 2 remaster or even partial remake to fix a lot of the stuff that's wrong with that game, and there's a lot of it, it's fine by me. These guys actually look like they know what they're doing, so as long as it's in their hands and they continue to show the series the love and appreciation it deserves, and the love and appreciation that they have for it, it should be in pretty good hands. We probably won't see it for a while because that's going to take a lot. There's a lot they have to fix in that game. But yeah, if they were to do it, I would easily buy it and play it, even though that's my least favorite of the Legacy of Kain games. It's definitely by far the worst, but if they could fix it up the way they fixed up some of the stuff here, like they did for the camera, if they could do that for Blood Omen 2 and make it look a lot better, and you know, just put some little touches and details on it here and there that make it a much more overall better experience, I would be all for it. I'm down for that. So hopefully they do it, and hopefully they also do something with Blood Omen 1, whether it's a remaster with better 3D graphics or whether it's a full-blown 3D remake. Hopefully they do something with that game someday, because that game surely deserves it. But yeah, I had fun playing this game. The story holds up pretty well, just as great as I remembered. I like playing, you know, with all the different powers and Reaver moves and combat moves, and I liked all the skins. I definitely liked all the new skins, you know, for Mortanius and Kain and Razio and all that stuff. I love the new skins. Yeah, I just think they did an overall pretty great job, and as a remaster I'd rank it a solid 9.5 out of 10. Like as a game it's probably 8 or 7.5, but as a remaster it's definitely high up there. You know, it's definitely one of the best remasters I've seen recently, if not the best. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and I will see you again next time. Probably on Tomodachi Life. If not, maybe on Resident Evil. We might do a bit more of Leon Must Die Forever, and then we're gonna start Metal Gear Solid 2 tomorrow, hopefully, because I've been wanting to replay that game for a long time with the new Master Collection. I played it before for the HD Collection. I've been wanting to play it for the Master Collection, so I'm definitely excited to finally get down to that, so we can then play Metal Gear Solid 3 and also play Metal Gear Solid Delta, the remake of Snake Eater. So I will see you again next time. See you later, everyone. Take care, and if you're any type of Legacy of Kain fan, definitely go out and buy this game. It is well worth your time. See you later, everyone.